hey, you should play this zombie apocalypse game that I got on my phone. It's called Minecraft. And I was like, I don't really like zombies, but like I want to fit in here, so I'll play it. I don't monetize anything because I don't want to make money off of other people's work. Like they deserve all that credit and recognition. And I want to point people in the proper direction where like if they see a clip that they like and they're like, oh, I want to watch more of this creator, I want them to be able to know where to go to see more of their content. As far as like the secret identity thing goes, I was planning on staying anonymous just forever.
Alright lads, welcome back to Midweek MC, the podcast where I sit down with the amazing co-host, Captain AJX. How are you today, AJ?
Hello. I'm doing well, thank you. I'm very excited for this podcast. We've got a lovely guest. And yeah, I'm very excited to be here. Well, I feel like it's been a while, but I was on the last one. But I guess just missing a few means I'm just like out of it now.
You're just not used to being on the podcast so much back to back. You did it like that one time and then it's like that was the only stretch. And then after that, it's like, no more.
It's a shock to the system.
Before we introduce today's guest, I do just want to say that the podcast has undergone a little bit of rebrand. Not entirely. The thumbnails now have different people on them, as in it's still me and AJ, but in a different sense. The banner is also brand new, which is pretty cool. And hopefully, at one point, the rest of the podcast team on the wiki is going to be kind of changed into different drawings of the characters to match the whole podcast theme. Thanks to the amazing FaZe Ray. Sorry to give a shout out on your podcast MCYT highlights. I just, I just wanted to give credit to where credit's due. But welcome in, Cam. How are you today?
Hello. I'm good. I'm excited to be here.
Look at that little transition, a new little way of introducing the guest rather than I'm joined with. Like, see, look, that was cool. Did you like that? That was good. I like that. Well done, Orbits. Obviously, I introduced you as MCYT highlights, and that's what we're going to be talking about today. Before context for the listener, their actual name is Cam, and that's what their personal account is Camden, I believe? No, not Camden. Have I just pronounced that wrong?
Camden, aka.
Okay, so I have said it right. It's Camden. Yeah. So when we start referring to them as Cam, we're still talking to MCYT highlights. It's not just an entire different person. So, and obviously AJ is the co-host of the podcast. In case you didn't know that by now. So we always like to give the introduction here, Cam, for you to let the people know who you are. I've done that really, really good intro on you, but who are you? What do you do? If you have a fun fact about yourself.
Yeah, so I am Camden, aka iShard2003. That's kind of my personal branding. But most people know me as MCYT Highlights or the Red Creeper. I post a lot of clips from various Minecraft creators, their live streams, their videos, and I post those on Twitter, TikTok, and pretty soon YouTube as well.
Ooh, little hint at something.
Yeah.
I guess to kickstart the podcast here then, from the amazing intro, thank you for that, where we should start by talking about you. I think before we get into the whole MCYT highlights bit, we should learn more about who you are and kind of how you got into doing that, essentially, from like the whole backstory to the present day, rather than kind of hop in between, because I don't want to confuse people too much, because it's kind of like InsideMC. You kind of have two different identities. Like me, I have the Orbits channel, which is dead, and then I have the InsideMC channel, which is kind of my new branding, but I'm not changing my name to InsideMC. I'm keeping the name Orbits. I feel like that's kind of the same as what you've done as well.
Yeah, exactly.
So, original content, 2003. I know this is such a specific question. If you don't mind sharing, is that the year you were born?
It is, yeah. I am 21. I was born in 2003. So when I just first started making accounts online, I would just put that at the end of usernames because usually the iShard would be taken on every platform. And so just adding a birth year in there helps me get the username. And I just kind of carried it along with me ever since.
Because I'm also 21. However, old JX here is a little bit older than us. So.
Why did you have to bring it up?
No, I just always love to. Sorry, it's actually just it's like my bread and butter, you know?
Yeah, beat me. Yes, I'm the ripe old age. What am I now?
32?
25. 30. Did you just say 32?
No. Anyways, why the name iShard? What made that come to be?
So, as a kid, I was a big fan of the Warriors Cats book series. I don't know if y'all know what that is.
I don't.
Yeah, it was a book series about like cat factions that live in the forest and they fight each other and stuff. But one thing that you would do in that fandom is make your own warrior name. And so iShard was my warrior name. You would put together like two what's it called? Like two words that have something to do with like nature. So I chose ice and shard. It's probably one of the least fancy warrior names you could come up with, but I came up with it when I was part of that fandom, and I just like the name, so it's kind of stuck with me, even though I'm not really a part of that anymore. So yeah.
I mean, like, some people would call themselves like Smoking Fire, or I don't know. But when you said it's like the least interesting, it's just, I bet it works, right? Like, if you're happy with it, that's all that matters.
Exactly.
And then you couldn't get anywhere, so you decided to make it very, very long and add your name at the start, your real life name, and then your date of birth at the end.
Yeah, so the Camden, aka I Spit, is because like iShard is my gamer tag, and since my channel it started out kind of variety, it's mainly just Minecraft nowadays, but since I did a bunch of different games and my gamer tag and a bunch of stuff was iShard 2003, I kind of went Camden, aka Ice. There's Camden, the real me, and then there's iShard, who's like my in-game characters. So that's kind of become my new branding.
On your main channel, the last time you uploaded was 3 months ago, and then before that 7 months ago. You've done a lot of like SMP content. You was in Hydra SMP. You also what was that series you did? Was that a hardcore series 3 years ago, or was it just a normal Minecraft series?
Which one are you talking about? The most recent one?
No, the one that like from 3-4 years ago, which have the numbers in the bottom left of the thumbnail.
Oh, yeah. That was just a solo survival series that I started. Gosh, I don't even know when the first episode came out, but that was kind of like my longest running series, called Minecats. It was just normal solo survival, vanilla, where I just collected a bunch of cats and built up the world around me.
Times were so different back in 2020 and 2021. It's weird to see how content just constantly evolves over the years.
Yeah.
I like that. I want a cat.
Do it. You can like meow and do and shit.
Okay, true.
What would your cat name be, AJX?
I can't answer that question.
The killer kitty.
Ajax. There you go.
Ajax. Oh, I thought I wasn't allowed to call you that.
No, I'm allowed to call me.
Oh,
just
got
you're
you.
not allowed to call me.
What about like the Hydra SMP? You made a few videos on that, however, that didn't last very long, and then you started a new series which lasted 2 episodes.
Yeah, so the Hydra SMP was an SMP I was invited to. It was run by JJK03, who is best known for doing like a lot of nations events, those like Minecraft Civilization kind of videos. He had a SMP for a little while, which I think I was the only one who like actively made content on it. A lot of people like played on the server, but I was the only one that really made videos. And so after a while, like people just stopped playing on the server, so I kind of stopped making videos as well, because when you're doing it in SMP, you kind of want to interact with people, and I still like, am in contact with a lot of that server, that whitelist, but yeah, I just kind of became not everybody's priority, so it kind of I left it behind to do my newest series, which is a normal vanilla let's play, but with a little bit of lore, and I haven't done an episode for that in a while, just because life gets busy. I've been busy with college and job stuff, so I haven't uploaded an episode of that in a while, but I am working on the 3rd episode, so that'll be out eventually, just whenever I get the time to finish it.
What sort of like why did you go into just survival? What drew you to Minecraft as a game when you started out?
Yeah, so when I first started playing Minecraft, I was mainly just a creative player. I played on the Pocket Edition first, and then moved to Xbox, and then eventually PC.
Same for
but yeah, it's the pipeline. But yeah, I started out with creative just because it was easy. You didn't have to mine for resources. But then I started watching a Stampy Cat in his Lovely World series, and that was in survival. And I kind of liked the idea of the grind and going out in the world and getting resources. Then I just kind of fell in love with that gameplay style, just because it's relaxing to go in the mines and just strip mine for a while or chop down trees for a while. So I started playing that, and then I feel more accomplished when I build something cool in survival as opposed to when I can fly and do it in creative. So I just find it more rewarding, more fun to do survival content than creative.
That's fair enough. I basically did the same sort of route from survival to creative to survival. When did you actually you get into the game? What sort of year? Because you're much younger than me. I say much younger, it's 4 years. When did you sort of actually start getting into Minecraft?
I started playing in 2012. I had moved to a new school that year, and I was trying to make friends. And one kid that was in my class was like, "Hey, you should play this zombie apocalypse game that I got on my phone. It's called Minecraft." And I was like, "I don't really like zombies, but like I want to fit in here, so I'll play it." And then I found out that Minecraft's not a zombie apocalypse game. That's just how he poorly described it to me. And I learned that you could build in it and do all this cool stuff. And now I am kind of one of the only people from that friend group that still plays the game. I've been playing since 2012. Played on various platforms and kind of changed my play style in the last 10, 11 years now. But I've loved the game ever since.
When you say about the whole like building stuff, you are doing it as survival because it's more rewarding and stuff. You have a website, in case you didn't know, Camden. I'm not sure if you know you own one. On it you have like original builds. I was having a look through them earlier, and just to refresh myself, I have them up now. There's some really cool builds. These were all in survival as well.
So a lot of them were designed in creative, but then I rebuilt them in survival.
Yeah,
that's kind of what my
that counts.
process is.
That counts. A lot of people do that. Where'd you get the inspiration for some of them? For instance, like the Redstone Goliath. I'm looking at that right now. Like that's so sick. Where did you get the inspiration for it?
I like to go on Pinterest a lot. Sometimes I'll look up like other Minecraft builds that people have done. But then sometimes I'll just look at like concept art that people have done for their own stories or whatnot. And sometimes I'll like save it in the folders. Like, oh, this would be cool to build in Minecraft in this style or for this purpose. And I just kind of go through that folder whenever I'm thinking about building a new area in one of my Minecraft worlds. I try to pick a theme. Usually I have like a little bit of a story in the background of my videos that kind of inspires them, and then I build them up from there.
Have you ever considered building like yourself? I know it sounds strange, but I feel like everyone's built themselves in Minecraft at one point. Like you have to. I think it's like I built myself.
It's a rite of passage. Yeah, I've done it before.
Skin. Obviously, I don't mean your actual real life self. Like, come on.
I don't know. It could be.
Hold on, I'm gonna put something in the group chat if I can find it. I built this for myself when I hit 10k subscribers. So look at that. And this was back on Bedrock Edition. If the image loads.
This reminds me very much of.
It's not loading for me. It's just sad.
Very early TDM.
Yeah, I built myself a bronze play bar, and I got my look at my texture pack. This is my logo.
I've never seen a skybox like that.
Yeah, Bedrock Edition for you. And then like there's skins. I used to build skins actually. I was actually pretty good at them. I built this skin once.
Very early Dan TDM.
This was my old main skin before I got my own original skin. Look, I love that skin. That's actually that's actually a really good build as well. That's actually a really good build.
Yeah,
it was massive though.
Sure.
I mean, basically, I built like a big egg skin. If I remember, I like tweet about it, and when this podcast comes out, and I also.
Have you ever built your house as well? Because that's something I did.
No,
I haven't actually done that. I remember one time I tried playing with my dad, and he got like the blueprints out for our house that he had saved somewhere, and he was like trying to do it like every block's a meter, and he tried to build it like to scale. I don't know if he ever finished that, but he did build that one time, so I left that to him. I did more like original stuff.
It's quite interesting that you've played Minecraft with like a parent, because I could never even imagine that. It's like when you talk about your siblings, AJ, how like they watched MCC and stuff with you. I've just none of my family are really into that stuff.
Well,
like the odd one
mine
out.
aren't now, so mine used to be, but they've definitely gone off.
Yeah, but the point is still there, them being used at least.
Yeah, definitely. I understand. But yeah, it's a lot more just me now, just me playing Minecraft. Are they still into? Is your dad still into Minecraft?
My dad isn't. No, it was kind of like back in the day when I was younger, and he just wanted to like spend time with me. So I was like, I'll play Minecraft with him, but it's not really his type of video game. He likes like shooters and stuff with like objectives. My little brother does play Minecraft though. He's a Xbox player, so we don't really play together a whole lot because like the differences in the version that we play on, but we do like to talk about it a lot. We watch a lot of the same Minecraft creators, so it's fun to talk to him about stuff like this.
I used to play like OG Minecraft, like when there's like the Elytra race and stuff on the original thingy version. version.
Yeah,
Oh,
the
I
mini
still play
games.
that.
See, I don't have
I
access
still-
to it anymore, so
It's on the so basically the Switch, they had the old version, and because of how the Switch system works, they can't delete the old version, so it's just still there. But they have obviously they only now just sell the new version and have the new version, which is in line with Bedrock Edition. But they still have the old version with basically they've still got Battle, they've still got Spleef, they've still got the Elytra races. It's great. It's amazing.
Are the servers still running, or do you have to like play it with people on the same console?
Yeah, you have to play it with people on the same console, unfortunately. Otherwise, it has been wiped out, unfortunately.
Yeah.
still talking about you here, sorry, about like your content and stuff like that. How comes you're not really, we're slowly transitioning into MCYT highlights here, but still talking about you. How comes you don't really upload so frequently on your channel anymore? Because you have a Twitch account as well. Oh, sorry, yeah, go on.
Yeah, most of it is because of school and like real life responsibilities. Like I have tons of ideas for videos that I want to make and streams that I want to do, but it's like obviously I can't prioritize it. I don't make money on any of the stuff that I do because I'm not at the point where I can monetize anything yet. So I just kind of get around to it whenever I have the time, but I have to prioritize my studies and my real life job where I can get around to it. Which is sad. I wish I had more time to do Minecraft stuff because it's fun, but you know, it doesn't work out for all of us.
So, I mean, I guess it's just different perspectives on it, because I completely respect your point and 100% agree. But I also found like a lot of fun in kind of grinding to hopefully, like, even when I wasn't making money, and even now I'm not really making loads, I'm spending a lot more money than I'm making. But I still find it really fun, that kind of whole grind to hopefully do it one day. Like I say, completely, obviously, with studies and work and stuff, I only have work to worry about, so it's completely different lifestyles and stuff. But to me, that's my mindset, and I just really enjoy the grind. So, yeah,
hopefully once I'm done with college, I can have a little bit more time to do it. Like once I'm done with work, but having to balance both it and work, my studies and work makes it
it's
hard.
different, yeah.
But yeah, I get it.
Because you also started streaming on Twitch. You did one 14 days ago, 6 days ago. You have a better stream schedule than I do.
Well, I've been streaming on Twitch for a few years now, but I was kind of on a little bit of a hiatus until school ended. So I've had more time the last couple of weeks to do streams, but we'll see if I can keep that up.
Do you have any more questions here for Cat and Major? Should we move on to MCYT highlights?
I think I've got one more. Basically, I was thinking, this is sort of a transition question. When did you sort of go to yourself, I don't want to sort of not that you're not making your own content. When did you sort of go, I want to be doing this as well with MCYT highlights?
Yeah, so it kind of gets into why I started the account to begin with. I started it out mainly to kind of post some clips that I had saved from streams that I wanted to share, but like didn't feel like it was appropriate to post on like my main Twitter because didn't feel like a lot of my followers would care about the people that I'm posting about. So I started out the MCYT highlights account just to kind of get the clips that I had saved out there. And then obviously my goal and my mission with the account kind of changed as people started finding it. But it kind of just gives me something to do that's like low effort that I can do like after school some days and in between that and work, that it doesn't take a whole lot of time because I'm just downloading content from other people and kind of sharing it with the world. It kind of keeps me involved with like the Minecraft space and keeps me at a point where I'm making stuff and putting stuff out there, whereas like it doesn't take as much time as the main content that I put on my YouTube.
Yeah, okay.
I don't know if I answered that well.
No, perfectly. I loved it.
Rambly.
This is like podcast lore here in a sense. We're going to talk about me for a second. The fun fact, AJ, and I'm not sure if you actually have paid attention to this, Cam, and maybe it's just me paying more attention to it than I realized. Before MCYT started to get like more before MCYT highlights started to get more like traction, I feel like it was before I got more traction. I could be wrong. You followed the InsideMC TikTok account because I accidentally followed you back and then realized I don't actually want to follow anyone, so I unfollowed. I'm very sorry. On the InsideMC account. And you've been following the podcast account on Camden for a while. So like my question is, how did you find out about InsideMC? Because obviously you've got this big like channel now that you run where you post clips of other people and promote their content and stuff like that. How did you find this account?
I'm trying to remember. It was a while ago. I can't remember what the first episode that you put out was that I watched, but there's somebody that you interviewed, and I watched the episode, and I'm like, oh, this is a cool podcast. I like listening to Minecraft podcasts. I've watched like the Spawn Chunks by Pixel Riffs and Joel Duggan.
Oh, yeah.
I've watched Void Frogs, which is kind of an older one that kind of does the same thing y'all do, but it didn't last very long. And so I was like, oh, it's good to see another Minecraft podcast kind of coming out, and y'all are interviewing cool people. So I decided to follow it. Yeah, I don't remember when it was that I first saw y'all. It might have been on Twitter, or maybe it popped up in my YouTube recommended, but I have been following for a while now.
Probably due to me.
I saw you in the thumbnail, and I was like, oh, it's that AJ guy.
The AJX guy. I know him. I know that guy. Why? This is going to sound like such a silly question, but I'm going to ask anyways. Why the name MCYT highlight?
Yeah, so when I was first making the account, I was kind of debating whether I wanted to use the term MCYT, because it's kind of one that isn't super representative of the community, because a lot of the people that like I post and that are considered MCYTs technically don't upload to YouTube. For anyone that doesn't know what MCYT stands for, it stands for Minecraft YouTuber. It's kind of just like the term that's been coined. I don't know when it became popular, but it's the one that people have used for the longest time to describe people that make Minecraft content.
Yeah, even if they're not YouTubers, even if they're just Twitch streamers, they fall under the category.
Yeah, so I was like debating whether or not I wanted to use that acronym for the account, but then I was kind of seeing how this kind of goes into like why I decided to make the account as well. I saw a lot of people like kind of using the term negatively in Twitter Spaces, because there's been a few bad eggs in the community the last few years that have kind of tarnished the name and like the reputation of like Minecraft creators, and I kind of wanted to like repurpose the acronym and kind of show like, no, like obviously like some of the big guys that went bad, even though they used that acronym, like there are still so many good Minecraft creators that are like unproblematic and that make really cool content, and I kind of wanted to change the association of MCYT from representing like not so great people to representing some really cool people. So I was like, even though it's not a great acronym and it doesn't really represent what the community is, I did want to kind of like change that reputation that had been associated with that term.
How'd you do it? You post so many clips a day of so many different people. You have work, you have school. I'd like to assume you probably have a team, but then like, although it's not like a public team, I feel like there has to be more than one person behind it.
No, it's just me.
How'd you get all the clips?
Yeah, it's just
all
me
like the time, but how?
So usually when I get clips is on the weekends. Now that I'm on summer vacation, I kind of have more time to just grab clips whenever, but usually I'll set aside like a couple hours on the weekend where I like go through Twitch channels and go through their clip section and try to find some funny ones from the last week, or I'll scroll through Twitter. Gosh, I can't speak. I'll scroll through Twitter and find clips that other people are sharing, and I'll repost them and then download them to re-upload onto TikTok. People like think that it takes a whole lot of time, but since I'm just saving clips, it actually doesn't take too long, maybe a couple hours to find, 20 to 30 clips, and then I'll save those in my drafts to post like throughout the week. Recently, I also started opening up a Google form where people can send me clip suggestions, and that's been great because it's allowed me to post creators that like I'm less familiar with. I've had a lot of like lifestyle creators recently. That's a server that I don't watch personally, but I've heard about, and so I've been able to post some of their clips, some clips from like the QSMP, groups like that I'm less familiar with. But opening up that form kind of helps me to showcase parts of the community that I'm less familiar with, but that other people want to see.
So you don't actually physically get the clips yourself. You go through the clips channels that like the viewers at the time have gotten, which is a completely fine thing to do. I was just curious, like, you're not actually physically watching that's why I was so shocked, right? I thought you were just somehow watching every single stream and getting every single clip, pulling Twitch clips that have already been clipped, essentially.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't have the time to watch everything. Like, there are definitely some streams that I do watch and I clip as I watch them, and then I'll upload those later. But I would say 90% of the stuff that I post is stuff that's been clipped by other people, that are just saved somewhere on Twitter or on Twitch, that I pull and re-upload on my own.
How do you choose the priority of clips? Because like for a period of time back in like, you know, like when obviously on MCC day, you like posted a lot of like a good few MCC clips. However, your main form of clip content is just SMP content. So how do you choose between like silly little clip from like you know, someone like AJX does something funny in a game? How do you choose to post like someone dying in an SMP over AJX and a little silly thing on MCC Island? Like a bad example, but you get the idea I'm going for.
Yeah, a lot of the time it's just whatever makes me laugh, like whatever I see. If there's an event like MCC, I usually prioritize posting stuff from that because it's relevant. People want to know what was happening in perspectives that they might not have watched. And so I kind of like prioritize posting those. But then when you have like a week like this week where not a whole lot's going on, like event wise, then I will just kind of prioritize like just silly clips that I've seen from SMPs or from one-off videos that people have done. Most of the things that I post are from like Hermitcraft or Duckcraft, which are SMPs that I watch regularly. But yeah, I like to try to, you know, keep it a good mix of what I post. But yeah, whenever there's an event, or like about a month or two ago, Hermitcraft did a big Hermit charity stream where they were raising money for Gamers Outreach. I posted a lot that live stream weekend because almost everybody that met up in real life was streaming from that event. There's so many different perspectives, so many different like games that they were playing that day. So I was trying to kind of showcase everything that they were doing because realistically, most people won't be able to go and rewatch every VOD from the event. So I like to try to showcase, you know, what they might have missed.
I was wondering, like, actually, how many clips or videos do you watch in a week to be able to do this? Because it must be a crazy. Like, do you know if there's a specific number, or is it just?
I don't.
So you just how much time must it take to get these clips and so on?
I've never actually like sat down and like counted or like considered how long it takes. Sometimes throughout the day, like I'm in between classes, waiting for one to start. If I don't have like work that I need to do, last minute, I'll just like book Twitter and I'll scroll, and if I see like funny tips or whatever that other people are posting, I'll like bookmark it to look at later, like on the weekends or after school or something like that, and then I'll go back and kind of just browse through it, almost like I'm just scrolling through Twitter naturally. And then if there's any that like make me laugh or I'm like, oh, that's cool, and that's when I repost it or download it to put on TikTok or something like that. So yeah, I don't know exactly how much time a week that I spend on like finding clips or how many I watch in order to post. I would say I post probably like a fourth of what I watch in a week overall, but I definitely spend a lot of time, but not as much time as other people think that I do.
What about when it comes to like, there's going to be an interesting one, obviously, because Twitter, the way Twitter is like, I know a lot of people don't like being tagged in tweets and stuff like that, but how do you go about kind of crediting people for their clips, right? Because you went for a long period of time where I remember, like, I can't remember what clip it is I clicked on, but I clicked on one, it was like submitted by anonymous, which is completely fine. But then also like recent ones, it hasn't like mentioned being submitted by anyone. So has it all been you? And then like now, since yesterday, I think it was, you started tagging the creator who the clip is from in the tweet, but originally you didn't do that. So what was the whole idea there? Because I'm always tagging the creator, because I don't tweet about them much, right? It's only 2 tweets that I do, or 3 tweets: the guest announcement, the podcast announcement, the follow-up podcast announcement. So like, how do you kind of choose with the whole promotion kind of thing?
That's something I'm still trying to like navigate and change. Like you said, I just started like a couple days ago actually like tagging people in posts that I post of them. It's hard to figure out what to do because people have different preferences. There are some creators that want to be tagged in everything that I post. There's some that are like, I don't want you cluttering up my notifications, you know. I did have a few people comment recently on some posts that I made that were like, hey, I think you should tag people, like actually like at them on Twitter whenever you post their clips, because I'm sure they'd want to see it. And so I've been doing that for most creators. I've been kind of choosing not to do that for like some of the hermits, because I think, I don't remember when or where they said this, but there were a couple of hermits that said they didn't like to be main tagged on a lot of like stuff like just reposting clips of theirs, because like obviously they're the one that made that content. They don't want to like see it again unless it's like a throwback clip. But yeah, I've been trying to like change how I do it, try to find a good balance of, you know, giving proper credit where it's due, because I don't want the account to seem like I'm like stealing content from anybody, because that's definitely not what the goal of the account is. I don't monetize anything because I don't want to make money off of other people's work. Like, they deserve all that credit and recognition, and I want to point people in the proper direction, where like if they see a clip that they like and they're like, oh, I want to watch more of this creator, I want them to be able to know where to go to see more of their content. But yeah, it's a balance of like how can I credit them to where people know exactly where to go to find them, and how do I credit them without like bugging them and tagging them in 20 posts a day, you know? So it is something I'm still experimenting with. I do it differently on Twitter than I do on TikTok as well, because Twitter, obviously there's a character limit and I'm not paying for Twitter Blue personally. I don't really believe in doing that, but yeah, it's kind of, it's hard to figure out, and I'm still figuring it out. I'm definitely taking a lot of feedback from people actively.
Can I give mine here on the podcast? It's not negative, it's all positive, because I understand. Yeah. I really do understand like the rough idea of making it work. But my advice is, a lot of people, what they tend to do is they'll do at and then / the person's at. And I feel like I think, and I'm probably going to speak for a large majority here. And if you're listening to this and I'm wrong, comment it if you're listening on YouTube or whatever, and tell me I'm wrong. But I feel like smaller creators, in quotation marks, less established creators is a lot better word in there. I feel like less established creators, as in people who are coming out of the ranks and starting to grow a little bit more, I think they'd really want to be tagged, because it's bringing straight traction to their Twitter account, which is then bringing traction to their YouTube, blah blah blah. Talking strictly Twitter here, because I know you do it differently on TikTok, and TikTok's just a whole different platform in itself. So Twitter's the main part of where people make connections, and that's why I'm directly talking about this. But I think even like with smaller ones, until they kind of tell you to stop, you should directly tag them. And with larger people, or just in general, right, how you could format your tweets is, because I know you kind of link it with the hashtag, you can do the tweet itself. So like the one I'm looking at right now is certainly lads says that shit is fuck. It's just the one I clicked on from May 11th, right? Certainly lads says that shit is fuck, and then underneath that, so do like a little space, says a gap, and then like the word, then do at / certainly lads, so that's their Twitter account, but you're not directly tagging them, and then another gap, so enter gap, and then underneath that the hashtags. And I think that is the perfect way that you could go about not bugging people, but then giving people the promotion that, like, you know, because obviously what you're doing is a really, really good thing, and that's why I like MCYT highlights, and that's why I wanted to bring you on today. That's why we wanted to bring you on today, because what you're doing is really cool, really nice, really interesting. But I think that'd be also a nice way for you to use your platform to boost other people, and then you're not bugging them in the process. So it's a long way of explaining it, but I wanted to make sure I got my point across as more criticism than trying to like, because I don't want to be rude. So I think I did a good job there, hopefully, but that's just my idea.
Oh yeah, constructive criticism. I really appreciate that. I think that I might actually start doing that. That's a good idea with the slashes. I've seen other people use that, but I've not done it myself. But I think that's a good idea. Like, tag them, you know, until they ask for me not to, or if it's like a already established or larger creator, maybe just automatically use the slashes. I might have to try that out and see what others think. But I like that idea.
I mean, just test it for like a day, and I think people like it, because I mean, you do a really, and that's why I want to give you a compliment alongside this. You do a really good job in a sense of kind of mixing between those of the established creators compared to less established creators. However, there is a lot of duckcraft right now. There
is a lot of
duckcraft. I feel like there probably needs to be a bit more like different clips in there. But the clips you're posting are good. I watched them, so I can't be that unhappy, right?
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, I try to like keep a good mix of people from different servers and different communities, because that's another goal of like using the MCYT like acronym, is like I don't want it to just refer to the people that were on the Dream SMP or on the QSMP, because, you know, there's tons of communities. There's Hermitcraft, there's SOS Gang, there's Duckcraft, which I'm really into, and I posted a lot of their content recently. But yeah, there's them, there's like the Castaways creators, there's the One Shot hardcore group. I mean, I could just go on and on, but like so many of these communities that are underrepresented when it comes talking about Minecraft, like YouTube, and I feel like that they deserve their flowers and they deserve some like shout outs, because there are some real hidden gems in the community, and I want to kind of push more attention in their direction.
Have you found any like new content creators through doing this? Have you found anyone that you've been like, oh, and started this is cool, and started watching from there?
Yeah, well, I keep talking about them, but the Duckcraft creators, I've really been enjoying that server recently. It was created by Derpy and Payne, and it's been like a server with such good vibes. Every night I pull up a stream, whoever's live on the server, and they're just hanging out. Like, they're not really creating anything, like any massive builds or like telling any like Hermitcraft or telling any stories like the Lifesteal SMP. They're just like vibing and having fun together, and like I just really enjoyed their content, and so they've kind of been recently a priority of mine, is like showing everyone like, hey guys, you should check out this server, they're really cool. But there have been some other creators as well that like are pretty established, but like I didn't know about until I started doing this account. Some of the QSMP creators I didn't know about, especially some of the international ones like Baji or Selbit or Bagheera Jones. I've really kind of enjoyed learning about them while I've been running this account. So that's one thing I've really enjoyed about doing MCYT highlights, is finding out about people that I didn't know before, and then posting more stuff about them as I learned about them.
Is there any sort of, do you see yourself move? Obviously, Duck is it Duck SMP? Duckcraft. I knew it was Duckcraft. I double thought myself. Duckcraft SMP. And then, is there like any other communities that you found recent, apart from them, that you've sort of been more poured into? Obviously, you've talked about sort of the QSMP and different languages from there. In terms of MCC, did you watch that before, or have you seen any other Minecraft tournament content that you've been interested in?
I've definitely watched MCC for a while. It's kind of like the main tournament that I've watched and kept up with. I've watched a couple of Block Wars, but outside of MCC, I haven't really watched any other tournaments. I've found some clips from other tournaments. I think I might have posted something from Pandora's Box recently. I think that's a tournament that's been going on recently. So I've been learning about others, but I haven't like actually watched like a full VOD from one of them. But that is something that I do want to look into in future. I'm always like excited to learn about parts of the community that I didn't know existed, or that I just haven't seen on my feed personally, and kind of explore that and see if there's any creators that are a part of those that I might like.
Yeah, I think it's just so crazy that there's so much different communities. Like there's all these SMPs, and even then all these SMPs have like different sort of, some are story based, some are survival based, some are PvP based, and then you have all these tournaments as well, and all of that, and then there's just so much different variation to Minecraft. You have like a favorite part. You've already talked about sort of building, but have you found yourself sort of moving into a different part of Minecraft, and what is your favorite part of Minecraft currently?
I'm more familiar with like SMP style content, or just like solo survival content. That's kind of what I've watched for the longest time, and I still think that that's my preference on what to watch. Like if I've had a long day at school or at work and I just want to come home and turn something on, I'll usually go to Hermitcraft or Duckcraft or one of those servers. I have been watching some other content, mainly for MCYT highlights, to like, find a bit more diversity and variation what I post. But I think my heart's always with like the SMP content. Like it's just what I'm most comfortable with and what interests me most. But it is cool seeing the other parts of the community and branching out sometimes and trying some new videos or streams to watch.
Yeah, definitely.
When are you going to start posting InsideMCYT highlights?
InsideMCYT. Well, I have like considered posting some clips from y'all before, from episodes that I've watched of yours, but I saw that you've been a little bit more active on TikTok and Twitter, like posting your own clips, and I'm like, I don't know, I might just like retweet or repost whatever y'all are posting. So that way it's like more direct, people just go to your account. I try, if I can, especially on Twitter, like if a creator has posted a clip of their own on their own platform, I try to just repost theirs. Now, if they don't upload it on TikTok, then I might re-upload it and then tag it as like from this account on Twitter or whatever. But I do try to like directly just repost the original post if I can. But if it's something from Twitch or YouTube, then that's when I'll download it and re-upload it myself.
Okay.
I'll say to you now that, so basically, Jokana does an amazing job with the clips, and every single podcast time I mention them because they listen to every single podcast to make the clips. Massive ego boost for them. What's called? They do an amazing job. However, if you ever like listen to an episode and you think it'd make a good clip and we haven't already made it as a clip, as long as you give me the relevant promo as long as you give us the relevant promo in the format that I suggested to you, I'm more than happy for you to clip something and post it. In all honesty, I actually don't mind, as long as it's not like loads, as long as we're not like posting like, you know, I know you're very good at managing how much you post, but as long as you're not like taking all my podcasts and clipping them all and things.
Yeah, posting the whole episode.
Yeah, exactly. I'm happy for you, like, if you're listening to one, you think, oh, that'd make a cool clip to like give context or something. So we have some pretty cool clips from like I think the Apakuna podcast. It did quite well on TikTok because they talked about how the whole killing Kyle thing, I think they talked about like that whole scenario, and a lot of people just didn't know how that went down. But when we posted a clip, I was like, oh my god. So I mean, if you ever want to, like, it was a joke, but I'm actually more than happpi for you to, since you said you've considered it. So I mean, I think you're fine with it as well, AJ, right? Should ask you, of course, because it's our podcast. So
well, in that case, then you might see some of your clips on MCYT highlights soon.
Oh, hey, just do @/InsideMC. You don't even need the podcast anymore. Just put InsideMC. We kind of ditched our podcast name because we're going in a different direction, uploading, well, still podcast, but more videos. So we'll see.
Yeah.
I was gonna ask, what is your favorite ever clip you've posted? What is like a clip? It doesn't even have to do well for numbers. It's just your favorite ever clip that you've tweeted or made on TikTok or posted on TikTok. Sorry. You can name a few. It doesn't have to be one. I'll give you a few.
One that I posted on TikTok. I don't think I posted on Twitter, but on TikTok, it did fairly well. But it's one that like makes me chuckle every time. It was from the Hermitcraft Empires crossover, where a lot of them like went on the same server together and were interacting for the first time. And there was a clip from a live stream where it was Joe Hill's point of view, and he was interacting with some of the Empire's guys, and they made a joke about Scott Smajer being homophobic. And obviously, for those who don't know, Scott Smajer, he is gay and very open about it. But Joe Hills didn't know anything about Scott, so he thought that when Scott was making like homophobic jokes that he was being genuine, so he just instantly starts firing his bow at him and attacking, and everyone's like, Joe, calm down. Like, like he was kidding, he was being sarcastic. He was like, well, that was important context that y'all should have like given me or whatever. But like the whole misunderstanding was like so funny. That's one that makes me chuckle every time, that I really like. I'm trying to think what else. It's the first one that comes to mind. There have been some like recent ones from Duckcraft where they've been pranking each other. Gravel, one of the creators on that server, he always does these bits where he puts on skins of like Miss Piggy or like Alvin and the Chipmunks, and he'll go and put on a voice filter and just harass people on the server. Those always make me chuckle. Mainly like the funny ones are the ones that I've enjoyed the most, but there have also been like some serious clips that I've liked posting just because like they're either like wholesome or like whatever like in it are like things that I think need to be discussed. Like there was a clip from the Imp and Skiz podcast, two of the hermits, where they're interviewing Good Times with Scar, and Scar was talking about like his disability and how he's wheelchair bound, and some of like the ableist that he gets online, and he was just kind of giving advice on like how you have to ignore it and kind of own your disability. And even though I'm not somebody who is disabled, I thought that was like a really nice conversation that they had, and I reposted that. And I think reposting stuff like that especially I really enjoy doing, because the creator says something that I feel like the world needs to hear, that I think is like wise. Then I really like sharing that to hopefully help people, help that creator reach their target audience and and help people that needed to hear whatever they were talking about.
That's what I love about the podcast. I feel like it probably doesn't get as much traction because it's a big, long 1 hour. I mean, we've been recording already for nearly an hour. So, you know, compared to like a 30-second clip, but it's like an archive, right? Like that's the kind of thing about the podcast. It's going to be on YouTube and it's going to be uploaded forever. You don't have to go through Twitch clips. It's always this as a reference. That's kind of like what you do. You upload a clip and it's always going to be on that account as a reference. If someone bookmarks it, they're always going to be able to find it. Whereas like finding a Twitch clip or finding a clip in a VOD is kind of hard.
Yeah, that's another reason why I did this account, is because I'm like, oh, there's so many good clips that like creators don't re-upload themselves, and it might be like 30 seconds from a 5-hour long live stream, and it's like, well, that clip might have never been, you know, found again, because like the chances that someone's going to want to go back and rewatch an entire 5-hour long live stream is slim. But if I can take that one funny section and share it, then a lot of people, you know, get to talk about it more. I've seen some people like re-upload clips that I've posted on TikTok, and it has like that TikTok watermark on it still, so I know it's like from my account, but it's like clips that people might not have been talking about on Twitter had I not posted it again. And so it's always kind of good to see that I've like resurfaced old clips or like valuable clips for some people, and a lot of people have enjoyed them. That always makes me feel good.
How just because I can't really look through and figure out how many clips on average you post a day.
So on TikTok, I tend to post, I don't know how many I post a day, but I have like a pattern where I'll post 4 clips and then I'll wait 3 hours and then 4 more clips and then 3 hours. I think on average it's probably like 12 to 15-ish clips. I don't think that math adds up right, but 12 to 15-ish clips a day. And then Twitter, I tend to upload more in bulk, like as I'm finding clips, like on weekends or whenever, like in bulk to save to my TikTok drafts. I'll just upload them as I find them to Twitter. So you'll see like periods of time where maybe it'll be like a couple of days before I upload more on Twitter. But TikTok, I have more of like a regular schedule of uploading clips. So it depends on what platform I'm on.
I thought it was like the exact same. Like we upload the clips on YouTube Shorts. I upload one a day, 5 p.m. BST, when I'm not uploading a podcast, on both TikTok and YouTube. But you vary between the both. I thought you just scheduled them to be the exact same, completely like copy pasta.
Yeah, you know, when I first started doing Twitter again, because when I made the account, I made my Twitter first. I posted for like a week, and then like nobody was finding the account. I think I might have gotten shadow bans for posting too much. So I moved to TikTok, and I uploaded more regularly, and people were finding me over there. And then only like a couple of months ago, I moved back to Twitter and started uploading them in sync with when I uploaded them on TikTok. And then I don't remember what changed that made me just upload all the Twitter clips in bulk at once. But I've found that I've like enjoyed doing that more. It's just like less effort having to coordinate between the two platforms. And then I guess it kind of gives a little bit of a variety. Like if you follow my Twitter, you're not getting the exact same content at the exact same time as if you follow the TikTok. Eventually they both have the same clips that I post on both, but it does let me have a little bit of variety, I guess.
When are we going to see more AJX clips or clips about the strikers? I feel like we're really missing out.
No. No.
Dude, very soon. Watch your back. You can get clipped at any moment.
I'd have to make content to get clipped.
True. Yeah, nah. You should just re-upload these tier lists. Easy. Just download them, re-upload them. Bro. You're working on a video right now. It's like a where you compile. Is it compiling a bunch of? What is it? What is the video? I can't remember it.
Yeah, so I've been wanting to kind of make MCYT highlights compilations on YouTube for a while now, because I've posted hundreds of clips on TikTok and Twitter, but like I've kind of wanted to like put them all together into compilations. And I also just really enjoy editing. That's my favorite part of making videos on my own channel, is like getting into the editing bay and kind of like putting all these clips together with music and kind of having a tangible like finished product. So I've been wanting to do more editing. And I was like, oh, I can make compilations for an MCYT highlights YouTube. So for my first video, it'll be out in a couple of days. I've already got it like like, I would say 75% edited at the time of recording this. But it's going to be a compilation of Duckcraft clips because the server's been running for a month now. And I wanted to kind of showcase all the clips that I got from them. So that'll be out soon, but I also kind of want to make compilations from other servers. I have an idea for a Hermitcraft compilation that I want to make. I might then go on to do like maybe Minecraft SOS or Lifesteal or whatever other servers that like I end up getting a lot of clips from. I think it'll just come down to whatever I have the most of at any time that I like want to make a video. But yeah, it's been fun to make this first one just because it's kind of an editing style that's different. A lot of the videos that I post on my main channel are very like slow and like long and drawn out just because that's the style of content that I like. But when you post a bunch of clips in a compilation, it's a lot more faster paced. So I've been experimenting with an editing style that I'm less familiar with, but it's been fun to kind of like put them together and kind of experiment and change the style that I edit in.
If I've learned anything from Kaman18, uploading like 3-hour long compilations actually do really, really well on YouTube as long as they're like, just like clips upon clip. Because people kind of just put them on and then zone out and like, yeah, it's like scrolling through TikTok without the whole scrolling part. So
yeah.
MCYT highlights YouTube art. Can't wait to see it.
I'm in soon.
With that being said then, I feel like we've covered pretty much everything that we have to ask here. Unless you had something that you thought we was going to bring up and we didn't, or have we done a pretty good job of tracking everything?
I don't think so. I think y'all covered everything that I can think of.
We have some Twitter questions. Actually, I haven't even checked them. Assuming we haven't answered the Twitter question. See, I was going to ask the From the Ashes one, but you already asked it. The few creators
I did, not on purpose though.
Oh, okay. Have we? I feel like we've kind of answered.
There's a few.
Have we answered Angel's one? I don't know. I feel like we kind of have. I feel like we've kind of answered it, but I guess to just ask it straight up. This is from, just because I want to ask a Twitter question at least. This is from Angel No. What's your MCYT journey like? Who did you start watching and how did it branch off from there?
So the first Minecraft creator that I watched was Stampy Cat. I feel like a lot of people our generation have like started with him or like Captain Sparkles, one of the OGs. But for me, it was Stampy. I started with him. I watched a lot of creators kind of like in his circle for a while. I started watching his sister Nettie Plays, who ended up joining the Minecraft Evolution server with Grian. That's how I found Grian. Then he went on to join Hermitcraft. That's when I started watching that server. And then I didn't really enter like the Minecraft like Twitter fandom or like YouTube fandom until I started watching Hermitcraft. So that's kind of like the pipeline, I guess, to joining the greater Minecraft YouTube fandom as a whole. But yeah, it started with Stampy and now I'm here.
Oh, sorry. I was just gonna say, was there like anyone else like? Because I feel like that, like, because I know everyone has their like one YouTuber who they watched. I mean, I can't even really remember who mine would be. But like other than Stampy, were there like some other names that like you kind of not, I guess, watched as much, but also it kind of inspired you to get into content creation?
Yeah, Stampy was the main one, but some others that I really looked up to back in the day were like Squishy Quack, Stacy Plays, Big B Stats. I would say like those were like the four main ones that I looked up to. And then obviously it kind of changed over time as they started uploading less and their content changed. And as I was like learning about other creators, I started like taking more inspiration from like Good Times with Scar and BOO and Grian and a lot of the Hermits. And you know, the people that I watched constantly changes. There's even more people now that I could name, but like Stampy, Squishy, Stacy, and Big B. It's kind of funny how most of them start with an S, but they're kind of my main ones back in the day.
I have another Twitter question, and I like this one a lot. It's from JLad147. They're asking, were you planning to keep your identity secret since you started, or only once you blew up a bit? Also, what your initial thoughts once DCs started seeing and interacting with your account?
Ooh, that's a bit of a multi-layered question. As far as like the secret identity thing goes, I was planning on staying anonymous just forever. I didn't really want to associate my name with the account not because like I didn't think I was doing bad stuff on the account, but like I didn't want it to seem like I was like clout chasing, like using other people's content to bring people towards my channel. And that's still something I don't want to do. I've made the decision not to post any of my own clips. The only times that I've posted about my own stuff is when I did my identity reveal, when I added my name to the bio, so that way people know who the account is run by, and then I retweeted one stream announcement when I was doing a Q&A on Twitch about MCYT highlights. Those are the only times I've really like shouted myself out. Yeah, at first I didn't want anyone to know who I was because I didn't want it to seem like I was clout chasing. But then when I moved to Twitter, a lot of people started putting two and two together, going like, a second, one of our mutuals in these fandoms and like Hermit Twit and the POW Creations side of Twitter, a lot of people were like, wait a second, somebody that follows all of us is running this account. And so they kind of started a scavenger hunt to figure out who I was. And then I was like kind of having fun, like teasing people throughout that process. And I'm like, okay, I promise to reveal my identity once I hit 5,000 followers. And so throughout that time, like every 1,000 follower milestone, I would reveal like a new piece of lore that would kind of help people that were trying to figure out who I was. Like at one point, I revealed like who I was mutuals with, like 3 of my mutuals. And so people were going through their follower list trying to find like the common denominator. There was one point when I was like, okay, I'm 20 years old at the time. I was 20. I'm a man. Actually, it was funny when I did the lore drop that I was a dude, because I got I'm a Shep, another creator in this space, to like voice a video of him reading off like a script I gave him to announce that I was a dude. So then people started like making up conspiracies like, oh my gosh, is I'm a Shep running the account? Has it been him this whole time? But it was just kind of like a red herring that the two of us had talked about in DMs. But yeah, that was fun. And then as far as my thoughts once CC started seeing me, I thought it was cool. I try not to like idolize the creators that I post, because like in the end we're all just people making silly block game content, you know. And I feel like a lot of the harm that has been done to the MCYT community in previous years has been done because people have like established these parasocial relationships with creators, or have like put them up on a pedestal and kind of idolize them when they're just like humans with flaws. Like we all have flaws, we're all imperfect. So I try not to be like, oh my gosh, so and so replied to my video or so and so retweeted it. I think it's cool. Like obviously I get a little excited when like Martin in the Littlewood, he commented on quite a few of my videos on TikTok. Like I still get excited, but I'm like, I try not to like hype myself up because you know, I don't want to put these, like I want to showcase this cool stuff that people are doing, but I don't want to put them on a pedestal and like, you know, make them seem greater than they are, because they're cool people, but at the end of the day, they're just people, you know. But it has been really cool, like kind of establishing connections with creators. I mutuals with a few of the Duckcraft people now through this account. I've DMs with a few people here and there, like telling me that they appreciate what I've been doing with the account or whatever, giving me some like feedback. So that's been cool. It's been kind of fun, like establishing those connections with those people.
I can understand why you got really excited when you was invited on the podcast. It's okay. I understand.
I know, that is the one exception. I was like, oh my gosh, I'm going to be on
I mean, you probably tweeted it on both accounts, so you must have been very excited.
I did.
This one isn't a Twitter question, but it's from Elise. I really hope I've said your name right. I'm so sorry. I don't think it's Elise. I think it's Elise, and I'm so sorry. But you know I'm referring to you. You have 13579 in your so there you go. Not exactly a question. I just want to say that I admire how MCYT Highlights doesn't use the account for self-promo like most people would, only sharing their identity because people got so curious. Which I agree. I think it's cool to see.
Yeah, I didn't, like I said previously, like I don't want to clout chase with the account. This account's not about me. It's about, you know, showing off the cool stuff that other people are doing. Like at the end of the day, it's just a fan account. It might be a popular fan account, but I'm just running a fan account that's fanning over these cool videos or streams that people are making. So yeah, I appreciate Elise recognizing that, because that is something that I've been trying to do and trying to make transparent to people that follow me.
I think that's it. That's it for me.
Yeah, I think that's the perfect way to end it.
And a nice little compliment and a nice little wholesomeness there. There you go. Before I do the outro here, Cam, we always like to give this opportunity for you to promote yourself, and please do. I know we've just said that, but this is different. It's a podcast talking about you, so please.
It's a little awkward to say I don't want recognition.
But you're not doing it on the MCYT highlights account. We're talking about you. We've talked to you, and we've talked to you as a person, right? So please do use this opportunity to promote both Camden and MCYT highlights. I think it's fair, anyways, that you can. So whatever you want to, please. The floor is yours.
Awesome. Yeah, if you guys want to see more Minecraft clips from people in the community, go and follow MCYT_highlights on Twitter, TikTok, and YouTube. I have made the YouTube account. There's nothing there yet. Maybe by the time this episode's out, my first video will be on there. But yeah, y'all can find me on those platforms. And then if you want to follow my personal account and see what I'm doing, you can follow Camden, aka Ice, on Twitter, YouTube, Twitch. I also have like Instagram and TikTok. But I would say that YouTube, Twitch, and Twitter are like my main 3 platforms if you want to follow me over there. And yeah.
There you go. Well, with that being said then, AJ, thank you for being an amazing co-host. And thank you so much for coming on. I appreciate you. And
thank you for having me. This has been fun.
It's been a great podcast, and it's really nice kind of dwelling into an account like this, which like, you know, just a different type of, I guess, content creation account. I don't know. You get what I mean. I'm going to do the outro now. Thank you all for listening. This has been Midweek MC with the amazing AJ and the amazing MCYT highlights. Stay safe. Don't eat too much bread. Pieces.